Boy Crypto on Instagram, of course. Ben Armstrong actually on my personal Instagram, and here we are on Twitter. 844K here. We're trying to get Charles Hoskinson to come on the show. Let's see if he's responded yet. He is. Oh, there he is. Oh, okay. He wants to do one at Consensus. I'm not going to Consensus. Maybe I will go to Consensus to do an interview with Charles. Yeah, so he already responded. So I guess you guys don't have to retweet this. We're going to work something out with Charles.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. When is Consensus next week?
It's soon.
I might could go for 24 hours.
It's June, but a lot of people, love for their Cardano community lately with NFTs, but also just in general. I've been seeing a lot of tweets and stuff about Cardano and staying active in the bear market. The community is definitely strong. Well,
Cardano was the bear market coin. I mean, you just think about it was the coin that got down so far, it did not move. People were calling Cardano a stable coin for the entire bear market. It's at 5 cents. And then look, it went all the way up to $3. It's down now. But I mean, this is why we say you don't care if you get in the earlier time frames, because down the road you are still up and you're still doing well. You're still feeling the pain like the rest of us. But yeah, so Charles already responded. Well, let me see about that, Charles. I didn't expect you to respond that quickly. Okay, so that's cool. Now I got a whole new thing to think about. Looking at the Fear and Greed Index, we are right now at a 10. Wow. Is that real? Right, we're at 10 right now? Wow. That is so low.
It's so bizarre to me. It happened the other day when it came on where we were at an 8 and it didn't seem like it was one of the lowest it's ever been. Didn't seem like it should be that low.
Well, I would think so. Today's May 23rd. So the last that would have been, if this is a Monday, so track 7 days from 23, you get 16. So the 16th was a Monday. Is that correct?
The 16th.
Or would have been the 17th.
Yes, was a Monday.
16th was a Monday. Mm-hmm. So that would have been the 9th, would have been a Monday. I'm just trying to see if there's a correlation to
dips on Mondays.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So that would make sense.
Monday scaries.
It is. So we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart here in a few minutes. Just some stories to watch out for. Bitcoin reclaims $30,000 as crypto community celebrates the 12th anniversary of Bitcoin Pizza Day. If you guys have heard of this, basically this is the first Bitcoin transaction in history. This was where, a guy, Laszlo, Hercevich, or I don't know what his last name is exactly, but it's pretty close to that. I think he's Hungarian or Croatian maybe, but he paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 Papa John's pizzas. A guy on Bitcoin Talk Forum, said he would love to do it. Basically, Laszlo put on Bitcoin Talk Forum, hey, I think this was 2011, correct? No, 2010. Yeah. That, hey, I'm hungry. If somebody would bring me pizza, I would pay you in Bitcoin. And so 10,000 Bitcoin, 2 Papa John's pepperoni pizzas. You can always do the math on this, because it was 10,000. It's a very easy number to kind of work with. Right now, where the Bitcoin price is right at $30,000, that would be worth $300 million. $300 million. That's really insane. So as long as it's in the thousands, you can just translate it up to the millions very easily. But don't worry about Laszlo. That guy still had a lot of Bitcoin. This guy is not poor. Yeah, I'm sure, looking back, he wishes he had 10,000 more. But this is the guy is not a guy that's broke. It's not like that guy Greg on Twitter, I think was his name.
I love that.
Yeah, he's like, I got Bitcoin in. It's 6 cents. It pumped up to 30. I wish I would have sold it all. It came back down to 13 cents, and I dumped it. Yeah.
Well, that's another fun fact about Laszlo that a lot of people don't know. He actually was the first person to come up with GPU mining. So he was a Bitcoin miner. Everybody was mining with their computers, but their CPUs at the time. He was the first one to go, wait a minute, I bet if I use GPUs, I could get a lot more hash, and started really mining a lot of Bitcoin and was one of the first GPU miners, which is really cool. Fun fact.
Yeah. Up here saying they're having problems with YouTube right now?
YouTube was slow. I kept hitting go live, and it didn't go live. We are live now, but it was about 5 minutes to 7 minutes delayed.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kept hitting go live.
We're 5 to 7 minutes late, right? Delayed right now?
No. It's just the intro just didn't go live. I hit go live. It didn't play. So
interesting. Bitcoin falls for the 8th straight week, setting a new record. Where are we at, Frank?
No, he didn't.
Can you just tell me where are we at on that death cross? It just confirmed.
He believes it's confirmed.
Okay. I personally expect a rally from here, I think. A lot of people are not. I'm expecting a rally. That's not necessarily a long-term rally, but I don't think we're going to see 9 weeks in a row. How many weeks did we get in the 2018? 7?
I think so, because I believe 7, because I think 8 is a new all-time record.
All right, let me pull up CoinMarketCap real quick. And then we'll bring Frank on. Right now, Bitcoin is at $30,414. Look at our top numbers. Why is it doing that? Okay. Why is this not? What is going on?
We leave for a couple of days and we get a bunch of tech trolls.
There we go. There was like somebody got a drink on the trackpad.
Yeah.
It was just a drop, but that makes a big difference. 1.3 trillion in market cap, so not too bad. 74 billion in volume. There's no volume. And people are saying, like, how can Bitcoin possibly pump when the volume is this low? Guys, that is, I don't care how many times people say that you have to have volume for prices to go up. Yes, you do. That is true. But low volume is not indicative of the direction of Bitcoin's price. It's a lagging indicator, okay? When you do get a large dump or you do get a large pump, when you have low daily volume numbers, it's easier for that to happen because it doesn't take as much of an infusion. If we're sitting at 200 billion in volume, think about how much volume has to come in to have a spike or a drop. Now, Bitcoin's at a really good spot to have a big move to the downside or a big move to the upside because the volume is low. Now, once you do get a pump, you do need the volume to sustain in order to keep it. But a lot of people will give you this narrative that like, oh, volume is so important and watch it. When volume starts picking up, that's when things are bullish. No. It picks up out of nowhere, goes bullish, and then it either stays bullish or drops back down. So, just want to be clear on that. Bitcoin dominance at 44.3%, ETH dominance at 19.1%. Are we talking about ETH merge today? This is not on the rundown at all. So, ETH merge, let's make sure that Johnny is on the around the blockchain tonight is a major story. ETH merge was announced over the weekend that it is scheduled to go live in August. Begins in June, goes live in August. Now, will that happen? This guy at Crypto Critic Pod, I think. I don't know if this guy blasts me or anything like that. I'm always careful because sometimes I say I like somebody and then I find like there's 94 videos about how they hate me. But I think the guy's pretty smart that does that on TikTok. And he basically had an answer to, will this happen? He says, it will be very close if it happens this year or not. And I agree with that. Like, we've seen so many pushbacks from the ETH merge and ETH in general that I think it is definitely possible that we don't get it this year, but it would be very close. If we didn't get this year, it would be Q1 next year. I think we see it Q4 this year. I don't think we see it in Q3, which would be August. So I think it comes at the end of the fall or beginning of winter. And I think that will line up with where we should possibly be at a bottom. But if we are ramping up towards ETH merge, we should see the ETH dominance start to rise. And that could get the market going back in a positive direction. ETH 20 Paraguays will send you an ETH transaction. Let's go to...
Yeah, that was actually just a PSA for anybody looking to move alts around. Over the weekend, gas prices were down pretty considerably. So nights, weekends, when activity is low like this, good time to be watching those gas prices, especially if you're trying to move around old NFTs.
Absolutely. And we do want to shout out our guests. We have Joe. Joe here. It's his birthday. A live... Yeah, we have a live guest here in the studio. It was his birthday. His wife brought him up here to the studio to watch the show live. So if you guys are ever interested in doing that, you guys can send
any members of the Bit Squad
email
always welcome
to info@hitnetwork.com. We can't have like 48 people here at one time. We're not equipped for that right now. But, we love meeting people in the community, especially here in the local area. So don't forget to smash the likes, guys. Make sure to smash the likes. Number one thing you can do as a member of the Bit Squad to get the crypto content out there. A lot of people have liked the direction of this channel lately. I think there was this idea that I'm some kind of moon boy and I'm going to lie to you and tell you the price is going up when I don't believe that that's the case. And I think this last few months has proven that's absolutely not true. We're going to give you a realistic view of the crypto market. It will not always turn out to be correct. We're not perfect. It's like a sports handicapper. They don't win every time. But I think overall, the information we're giving you is pointing you in the direction you need to be. We look at Bitcoin right now at $30,358. No one is going to regret buying Bitcoin at that price, even if it drops down to $10,000. Even if it drops to $10,000, this is still a good point to start scaling in at. It doesn't mean it's the best point to start or to buy, but it is a great point to scale in at. Anything 30,000 and below, I know it's 30,300, but close enough. Ethereum back over $2,000. BNB at 333. XRP at 42 cents. Been acting like a stable coin lately at between 40 and 44. Cardano at 55 cents. Solana 54 cents. Dogecoin 87 cents. Let's check out the top. Avalanche, almost back into the top 10. Polkadot 11, Avalanche 12. Tron has moved up to number 14. Wow. I mean, at some point, like, what point, TJ, do we say, like, we would have to start giving Tron some kind of coverage? You understand what I mean? If it's a major coin,
yeah, I mean,
we have to talk about it.
Yeah, I think if the actual some real apps that people are using and are interested start getting built on it and it gets traction. I'm not saying, obviously, there's all kinds of chains we talk about that don't necessarily have good dApps on them yet. But yeah, if it comes back up to relevancy as far as...
Well, Tron has a lot of dApps.
That's what I'm saying. And if people are using them and they're interested...
Leave the chat there.
Which one?
YouTube. Scroll up just a little bit. Right there. Leave that there.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd say very soon. I mean, if it's relevant, top 20 coin with volume and applications being used on it, we can't just ignore it.
I mean, if it starts
whether we hate Justin Sun or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said I wouldn't. He wants to come on the channel. I said I wouldn't, but...
Well, I mean, if you're going to if we give Richard Hart an audience,
I agree.
And some of these other people an audience, why not?
I just don't like him because he fired my friend.
That's understandable.
It's personal.
Well, maybe you can address that with him.
Yeah. Okay. Biggest gainers of the day. We got Bitcoin Gold, Loopring, Terra, UST, up to 6.6 cents. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I had that realization driving in today that Bitcoin has been more stable than multiple stable coins in the last week.
Yeah. Kyber Network still doing well. Phantom with a nice bounce. Loopring with a bounce. I think a lot of these bounces have to do with the time, like the exact 7 days that we're looking at here. Gambino C says, thanks, Ben. Found you while I was dealing with my rehab stint. Followed you for a few years, 2 years clean, and turned my life around financially. Love hearing those kind of comments, for sure. So, we're big on people in recovery. I'm in recovery myself for 15 years. It'll be 15 years in July. On that day, I'm going out to speak to people at the Blake House.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it'll be my 15-year anniversary for when I overdosed, was in a coma, the whole thing. So we love when people change their lives all the way around. That's what I did. Help people get off drugs for a lot of years. Teenagers, worked in that field, helping teenagers get off drugs for a long time, along with adults. So love hearing those stories. And if you are struggling with something, you do need to get help because you're the problem. You got to look outside of yourself to solve those kinds of issues. So, all right, let's go ahead and bring Frank on if you want to come on up. Frankie. Thank you. What? Somebody said 33K by July. That's a 2018 meme.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you had a good weekend. We got a lot of interesting stuff to look at on the charts here. We got some interesting stuff on the DXY to take a look at. Bitcoin, essentially moving sideways at this point. We'll take a look at it here. Trying to make sense of it myself. So we're going to take a look, definitely some really interesting price action. Stock's getting a little bit of a bounce this morning, so we'll take a look at that as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it here.
Thanks for that super chat, BJ. Love you too.
Oh, look at that. The Biscuit Jesus in chat. Proud of you, Ben. Proud of you too, Ben. All right. I really did think it was your birthday. I got tricked. It's actually Joe's birthday.
Joe's birthday.
Yeah, I heard someone say happy birthday. I came over here. I was like, Ben, is it your birthday?
Yeah.
But happy birthday, Joe. All right. So let's actually go ahead. I want to start off on the weekly here. I know we haven't actually taken a look at the weekly. We don't really pay too much attention to the weekly in the recent past here. But I do want to point out that we do have the VWAP coming up on the weekly. Now, this is a good sign for a possible at least a little bit of a relief here. Not crossing over just yet, but it is, it is good that we are getting close to that zero line. Money flow still coming down, but if we can get that crossover on the weekly, I do think we can get a decent bounce. Whether that is up to, 36K or, in the most bullish cases, I think there is a possibility that we could make it back up to this trend line here, which, at this point, if we came out, it depends on how quickly we come up, obviously, but, it's around, 37, 38. It really depends on how quickly we get up there, but I do think there is a chance we can come up and test this trend line here before possibly getting a dump down further. But as of right now, a little bit of mixed signals. Let's actually come down to the lower time frame so we can kind of zoom in here a little bit. We are coming up to this resistance here at about 30,600, right? So we've been rejected here quite a few times, as you guys can see. Rejected here, rejected here, rejected here. Now rejecting again right here. Had a little bit of a fake out here, came right back down. But we have approached this resistance. We are bouncing down. The question is, how far are we going to come down now? On the 4-hour, we did get a money flow crossover. Let me just switch my tools here real quick. We did get a money flow crossover into the green. If you guys watch my channel, I kept you guys updated as we were at Veecon. I made some market update videos, and we were talking about, watch this, the 4-hour money flow crossover into the green could bring us up. Actually did wind up getting a nice bounce up here. But will it be sustainable? This is basically, on a more of a macro view here. You want to keep in mind that the 10-hour, we have now printed a third blood diamond confirmed, right? I know we're coming up here, but that doesn't mean that these cannot still play out, right? These sometimes foreshadow big moves to the downside, even if you don't get the blood diamond and then an immediate dump down, right? So you want to keep in mind that you have these 3 blood diamonds lurking, right, on the 10-hour. They're also confirmed on the 8-hour. So you want to keep that in mind. However, like I said, shorter term money flow crossover into the green on the 4-hour is looking good, but we are getting the VWAP crossing down. So there are some mixed signals here. But, like I said, in more of a macro terms here, we're holding this macro golden pocket here, in the high 20s pretty well, right? And it's actually kind of similar here to the summer lows, when we were back down at this level in the summer. We came down, and then something else I did want to bring up. I'm actually going to pull up just the regular volume here so we can take a look at it. Let me just move this out of the way so we can see a little better. Now, this was the May dump, right? Everybody remembers this. I remember the actual dump on the 5-minute chart as I was watching it. It was traumatizing. But you can see,
rough.
Yeah, it was real rough. I woke up that morning and I was like, my phone was blowing up. People were calling me. Oh my God, what's happening? I'm just sitting
You were
there
here,
like,
right?
Yeah. It was right in the beginning of me being here. But if you see, we had that big capitulation down, and we wound up getting we started to see some real volume come in here, and that started to mark the bottom. Obviously, we did come down a little bit lower after you see that big volume come in, but it marked, it at least let you know you were getting close to the bottom, and we are starting to see something very similar come into play here, right? We had the big capitulation down, and we did start to see a little more volume come in. So are we seeing this mark that we are at least close to a bottom? So kind of something I'm expecting to happen here, possibly if 25.3 was not the bottom there. I do think there is a small chance that it could have been the actual bottom of this bear market, but I do generally lean towards maybe coming down a little bit further into the mid to low 20s. And then, if we get down to that level and things are looking bad, we can start to talk about maybe some price targets under that. But as of right now, I do think there is a chance that we can wind up coming back down and testing this low area, the bottom of this golden pocket, one more time before getting that big bounce up that we're all hoping for, or before we actually bottom out. So maybe we come out and take out this low just a little bit, come a little closer to, the lower 20s, maybe 20K even, to mark the actual bottom for this cycle, hopefully. And like I said, if we get down there and it starts to look real bad, we could start to assess where our next stop would be. Maybe, closer towards those $14,000 predictions. Like I said in the recent past, there's a lot of confluence that points to the mid to low 20s, but there also is a lot of confluence pointing to 14K and areas below 20K. So you want to, keep these things in mind. Anything can happen. But right now, my eyes are set to the low 20s being the absolute bottom. Now, let's just go check in on the DXY as...
Let me ask you real quick. Do you have any kind of time frame on that, or anything you're looking at as far as 20s as an absolute bottom?
Yeah. So let's go back to Bitcoin real quick. I would say, what we could look at as far as that is, if you look at, let's go over to the daily. The weekly. So you can see here, when you come into these bear markets, if you go back to 2017, which is right back here, the money flow, and this isn't the Bitstamp chart, so it doesn't go back all the way to 2013, but typically you come pretty low into the red, and you stay in the red a little bit here. And as you can see right here, we just kind of got into the red. We haven't really spent a lot of time down here. So I do think, we have a little more red, on this weekly money flow. to go through. So,
well, just real quick, out of curiosity, can you measure the time on that red money flow?
yeah.
Like how many days was that?
Let's see. Actually, let me come to this chart so we can get the full measurement here. So, we got the crossover right about there, and then to the bottom, the actual bottom of that wave was about 119 days.
Okay.
However, the actual bottom was more accurately indicated by the spike to the downside on this VWAP, which did happen actually pretty early into that red money flow wave. If we measure that from the crossover to the bottom of that VWAP right there, it was only about 42 days. And if we bring that over here and just measure that kind of same thing, about let me see, about 35, 30 to 35 days. So not too far off. So it's definitely not impossible that we could have seen a bottom there. But I mean, I would think, in the next month, I would say if we are going to come down lower, I do think in the next month or two, it could that could be when we bottom out if 25.3 was not already the bottom. Maybe we already felt it. But I do lean towards, where do you fall on that? You think we're more likely going to fall lower?
Well, I think something we can do a video on is the market psychology cheat sheet. Somebody mentioned, I think over in the basement, they mentioned that they think we're in the anger phase.
Okay.
And if that's true, then I think we are going to see, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, I think we're going to see a rally. I think we're going to see a rally, definitely potential for lower bottom. And if you look up, I'll come show it in just a second so people can see what I'm talking about. But basically, anger is not the very bottom.
It's right before the release.
It's right before the last drop, basically. And I think that's where we're at. But you get a rally. Now it doesn't match exactly. You got it pulled up?
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's anger right there.
Yep, that's anger. We get a rally. Yeah. And if you look at that time frame seems to match with what we've been saying about after the midterms.
Yeah.
After the midterms, end of November. So, we might see Bitcoin go back up to 35, 36, 37, then come back down to maybe 24, 22.7, a number to watch. 22.7, a number to watch. We talked about that on our video yesterday, due to the death cross. So, but, I don't think we're going to see the death cross play out right now, but I think we are going to possibly get one more dip. But there is an argument. There is an argument that we have bottomed. And we're going to see some different stuff. I think in ETH merge in August, it's going to be hard to see another bottom after the ETH merge, I believe. What do you think about that, TJ?
I agree. Yeah, hard to nothing's out. It's really hard to call with the rates and the economy and all that kind of stuff. Nothing's outside the realm of possibility. I wouldn't say for sure, but yeah, I would agree. It's hard to see Ethereum going a lot lower than where it is before that merge.
Yeah. I would even say, I want to coin a new term. You have the anger phase. I would say, I'm feeling a lot of, I would call it the salt phase, right? People are starting to get salty, going after each other. People are losing a lot of money.
That's right before the last drop.
Yeah, right before the last. And then you get that full maximum pain. I would agree with that.
Salty is just a nice way to say angry.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Let me put this into perspective for you guys. Going to 2018, okay? In November, there was something that was very popular about a year before that, leading into that, which was the ice bucket challenge. You guys remember the ice bucket challenge?
Oh yeah.
Okay, this was where it was for ALS, and basically what would happen is, somebody would pour water on their head, and then they name the next person, and you're supposed to donate money. A lot of people raised a lot of awareness. How many people actually donated? I don't know. So was it Brecky that came up with it? I think it was Brecky.
Could have been, yeah.
Brecky, von Bitcoin. He used to not be a maximalist. We still love Brecky though.
Used to be Crypto Breakfast.
One of the two or three, people that we like that are Bitcoin maximalists. Always got to say Gary Leland. I love Gary Leland. But basically, we love Mark Moss too. But he came up with an idea for the salt season challenge.
Yeah.
And so what you would do is you would name someone on crypto Twitter, and they'd have to record themselves pouring salt over their head. Did you do it, TJ?
I didn't do it. No.
I did it. Wendy did it, I'm pretty sure. A lot of us did it. And you would have thought that we had made deals with the devil himself or something like that. Like, you would have thought that we brought Satan on to be our CEO here. But
they were pissed.
People hated it. They said it was the cringiest, dumbest thing. And I could not believe the vitriol that was going on at that time.
Yeah.
People were so salty. They were so angry. And it was like a fun thing. We were trying to like, it was supposed to be like,
light. Yeah.
hey, it's people are salty. Let's make it light. Let's make it fun. And it was right before the last drop. That was literally November. You guys can go back and look at the videos. I'm pretty sure it was November of 2018. And then December, it's when we got the large U shape. It began where we got the dump down at 3,200. And so there's a lot of truth to what Frank is saying here is there is a saltiness in the air right now. And I would say, here's what's different about right now as opposed to back then. There's a lot more mainstream knowledge of crypto. We are seeing a lot of people who came in at the end or either missed it completely, and they're the ones that are pushing a lot of the salt right now.
Of course.
They've gone from, I put money at the top to crypto is a scam.
Yep.
Crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Like, obviously, crypto is a Ponzi. A guy put a video out over the weekend on TikTok explaining how, why crypto is a Ponzi scheme, why Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, because the only way that you're going to listen to this. This is what his face is. The only way you're going to make money in Bitcoin is because you need someone new to come in to buy your Bitcoin at a higher price.
That's the Warren Buffett argument right there.
What do you think a stock is, you idiot? Like, what do you think? Are stocks a Ponzi scheme?
Yeah, I never understood that.
But have you seen anything where Richard Hart explains that everything in life is a Ponzi scheme?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
That's probably good.
He says, well, first of all, you can't take anybody seriously that says crypto is a Ponzi scheme, because I can explain how everything in the entire world is a Ponzi scheme. Getting old is a Ponzi scheme, because basically what you're counting on, I'm trying to talk like him. He's so like, just nonchalant. What you're counting on is you're counting on your kids to still be alive and to have enough money to take care of you when you're in your senior years in assisted living. We're right next door to one here. And if you don't manage that Ponzi correctly, then you go bust. It's like, there's an argument to it. He comes up with the weirdest stuff, man.
It's a really good point. I know a lot of people say trading's a gamble. I'm just like, listen, life is a gamble. I mean, if you really want to dissect anything's a gamble.
Absolutely.
Really.
You get married? That's a gamble.
That is a total gamble.
Yeah,
that is a total gamble. But guys, that's all I got. Check on the DXY. It is coming down a little
real
bit.
Quick,
so that
Frank.
is positive.
Real quick, Frank. Before you hop off, we had a question in the chat earlier asking what times day do you go live?
5:45 p.m. Ooh, we got a BitBoy sniff. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday. We also go live on the weekends sometimes if something crazy goes on, but every 5 days a week on the weekdays at 5:45.
Thanks, Frank.
I'll see you there.
You guys make sure to check out frankiecandles.com. You guys check out frankiecandles.com. You guys can sign up for some of the trading sites that Frank shows you guys how to use, along with BitLab Academy, and you get access to a lot of stuff. Frank's got
special deals. I think there's a $1,500 deposit bonus if you guys are signing up there. So if you're starting to trade and you want to learn,
it's about time for a competition.
Start trading with that free money.
Let's make that a priority. Let's get competition going. Let's get it.
2 weeks.
We've gone so much in July or in June. We'll figure it out. Let's talk this afternoon, and we'll get a trading competition between me and Frank. Figure out a way we can get the audience to take part as well.
Awesome.
That'd be fun. Okay. All right. Somebody said marriage is the biggest gamble. You gotta go big or go home. That's why I got married in 5 months. We were engaged in 2. We did not know each other at all. It was a huge gamble, but there she is, still sexy to this very day. Okay. All right. Moving on here. I know we're like way behind, but I really want to talk about that psychology cheat sheet.
Yeah. Pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
That is helpful for a lot of people, and it does really show where a lot of the people that bought at the top. I mean, a lot of people right now, and this is the majority. I saw a chart over the weekend showing we had actually just recently hit maximum losses from portfolios. As far as like that could indicate a bottom, as far as most losses from the top. But the general public, as far as new users, most of them are down 60+%. Right now. So.
Huge. So here it is, and this applies to almost every market. I feel like it seems to hit Bitcoin's market a lot more exactly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Because when you're looking at these kind of time frames on the stock market, like they're much, much, much longer. It's hard to even show this much on a chart unless you're looking at the yearly. But when it comes to crypto, it matches. I mean, this is basically a 4-year cycle right here. So I mean, I can even show it to you. It's basically the halving would start right here. If you guys can see my cursor, can I make my cursor bigger? Let me see if I can do that real quick. That might be helpful for the show in general.
Yeah, well, actually, we should probably get a special cursor where you can where it kind of highlights or zooms on what you're like a magnifying glass cursor.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this here. I don't know. Maybe it's under display. Does anybody know where this is under? Displays?
Technology is hard. I don't know on a Mac.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If somebody knows and can put it in there real quick, then let me know. So anyways, this is where basically the halving would be right here because it pumps up to the halving and then it drops dramatically after. And then it goes up for a year and a half parabolically. Then it goes down for 1 year. That would actually be down to here. And then it goes up for a year and a half. So this makes the bear market look a lot, the beginning of kind of the bull run look a lot shorter than it is. That's the main difference. But you know, this is what you generally see, you know, denial. Like I will take this right here and I will say, if you go look at that big Ched's tweet where he was saying, oh, you know, BitBoy's bearish, so everybody go buy right now when Bitcoin was at, what, $36,000? And I was saying, we're in a bear market, guys, prepare. Like, that's the denial. That's people basically saying, like, oh, you know, we can still kind of control things. And, you know, if YouTubers are or bearish, then we need to, you know, get really, really bullish. People are in denial of what the actual reality of the situation is, which we're in a bear market. Then you see the panic and the capitulation. This would have been when things started dropping down to the 30s. This would have been when things dropped all the way down to 24 or 25.5 overnight.
Terra losing its peg. That's
Terra
losing.
Yes, there. This is Terra losing its peg. Capitulation. Now we're in anger where people are realizing they're not getting their returns back very quickly. We will probably see a bounce. According to this, it should probably put us back up about 37,000, somewhere around there. And then you guys are going to see it bleed out probably until the midterms.
That's the long bleed right there that gets rid of most people, you know, and that's where most people right there at the bottom depression, they're like, I'm over crypto. Yes. I'm done with this. I should have just sold it all. You know, anybody else who's willing to get into it, it's stupid. But that right there, depression, that's where you're buying your 5-cent Cardano, maybe this time 30-cent Cardano. And it's like, that's when you get those unbelievable returns. That's when you were buying $100 Ethereum before the massive pump.
Boom,
so
boom, boom. Look at this. Yeah. Look at this. Boom, boom. Look at this cursor size.
Oh, look at that.
Somebody help me out. They said you just type in the setting in the settings. Cursor size.
There you go. So that's the market psychology of the retail investor.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get started on some stories today. Computer scientists unveil rapid, energy-efficient Bitcoin mining algorithms. Bitcoin, see, don't get this twisted. Bitcoin will go down in history as the number one thing that created more energy sources in the world.
Absolutely.
It is going to be one of the best things ever for the environment, actually, in the irony of the people trying to kill it over saying it's bad for the environment. Quantum Blockchain has unveiled a new Bitcoin mining algorithm that improves current crypto mining hardware through increased speed and energy efficiency. So there you go. Quantum also confirmed ongoing tests on the quantum version of the SHA-256 algorithm, which will need to be changed one day. I don't know how far away, maybe 10 years down the road. Quantum highlights that it aims to monitor if the number of qubits available in the next phase of commercial quantum computers will sustain the full SHA-256 computation. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's very interesting because that is a big deal. Let's see. Did I miss a story here?
Yeah, there should be the record 8 weeks or somewhere in there. I'm sure that's what that record is.
What Congress learned? I'm very confused here because it goes to Veecon. Johnny, where is that story? Should have been the beginning. Was it the Fear and Greed Index or was that the... It says BTC Sets Record. What's the record?
The record is eight straight weeks of down.
We covered that story in the beginning.
Yeah, I think we just hit it early.
Yeah, we hit it early. I was confused on that.
Yeah.
And what was I supposed to share the Pluto Alliance website today? Or was that just on there from last week still?
Probably last week.
BTC Sets Record. What Congress learned? Yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay. Cool. Just want to make sure I was on track up here. Thank you, Johnny. Okay. All right. Moving on here to Veecon, which I missed, unfortunately. The only way in was an NFT ticket. This weekend, thousands of NFT holders descended upon the Twin Cities for Veecon 4-day conference, bringing together business leaders, entrepreneurs, and Web3 evangelists to discuss digital transformation, everything from art to assets. Not only is this the inaugural Veecon, it's also the first ever NFT ticketed event. We are going to be doing one of those as well, so be prepared for that. The event hosted at US Bank Stadium featured keynote speakers, Snoop Dogg, Spike Lee, Deepak Chopra, Ava Longoria, Mila Kunis, I've been saying her name wrong for years, was there. Veecon has been a boon for the local economy in Minneapolis, which I would think ever since all the the riots and stuff that occurred there, they probably have seen a dip in tourism and stuff.
Yeah, and there was a lot of talk about why he chose Minneapolis, and I think that was a big part of it. I think there was a lot of incentives from from the city to bring tourism and people in a positive light back to it, because the city itself, very beautiful, very clean. It was nice, so good. I would say good conference. You definitely would have enjoyed it. Sorry that you couldn't make it, but we had a really good time. We actually did a couple breakdowns on ATB. If you guys didn't see it, just go check out the live streams there to see kind of the thoughts on it. I think DZ.
Can you grab Jonathan Caldwell's comment? Jonathan, I'll answer that in Q&A at the end.
Yeah, and then I think DZ said it well by saying it's the most non-crypto event, because it was a lot of mainstream people, a lot of marketing people and hustlers and stuff. But like the article said, every single person, every single attendee had a MetaMask wallet or some type of Ethereum wallet with a NFT on it. So they had at least done one NFT transaction, and definitely a lot of the new thinkers and people playing with things in the space. So it's going to be really fun to see kind of what comes out of that community, because very creative community for sure.
Yeah. Well, and here's Gary Vaynerchuk's. Yeah, Jonathan Caldwell, very bottom. Gary Vaynerchuk's Twitter, if you guys want to follow him, he's at Gary VVEE. Oh, he retweeted Altcoin Mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we know Altcoin Mom. So let's see here. He had a tweet on here where he said, am I on retweets? Did I click the wrong thing? No, it's tweets. He had a tweet this morning sometime that said, we're getting ready to have, here it is, right here. This is how sick in the head I am, TJ. Veecon 2023 planning meetings today. Not kidding. My first thought was, duh.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why would you not? Like, obviously, you start playing the next event the day after a successful event.
Yeah.
I guess normal people wouldn't do that, I guess.
Normal people don't, but, hard workers do.
Your Nick Sabans, your Bill Belichick's, they were out there working the next day.
Right.
And then we also have this, Spike Lee on using NFTs to fund films, The Horses Out of the Barn. Legendary filmmaker Spike Lee is the latest veteran to make the leap into the NFT space with an upcoming Ethereum artwork based on the stills from his 1986 features. She's got to have it. Hope she got it. Visible Project will release 4,000 Ethereum NFTs featuring still images of Lee portraying the character Mars Blackman. I haven't seen that one. She's got to have it. Favorite Spike Lee movie, I would say by a long shot, is He Got Game. Ray Allen. I guess that was before your time.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Spike Lee movies.
Well, I watched He Got Game. That was before Ray Allen was now the number 2 all-time three-point shooter, but was number 1 for a while. Each NFT image was rendered, Jesus Shuttleworth, that was his name in the movie, was rendered from the original 35 millimeter print of the film. Interesting, speaking of, by the way, basketball. This morning I was watching Max Kellerman on ESPN, who, by the way, I find to be extremely annoying. I'm not really a big fan of Max Kellerman, like the other guys on the show. Like Stephen A. Smith, I don't like Max Kellerman. But he did say something very funny. Last night I was watching the end of the Warriors Mavericks game. Andrew Wiggins, who's came out of nowhere to actually realize his potential, had a monster poster dunk on Luka Doncic last night. They originally called a foul on him, which was crazy, and they reviewed it. The dunk was awesome. Like, he went way up. He got another level, slammed it down. And Max Kellerman this morning, his quote on ESPN was, "Now, let me tell you what, that's an NFT." He said, "That's an NFT. I get it now. I get why someone would want to own that moment." Right. And I was like, okay, well, he showed an understanding of what it actually is. And also, I thought that was pretty cool on ESPN this morning. They were talking about NFTs.
Yeah. So, it's coming. I mean, and that's not going anywhere. I mean, they're rolling it out to Instagram right now. And I think that's what's going to be the most fascinating thing to watch with NFTs is there's going to be 1,000 or millions of different iterations of everybody trying everything they can imagine with it. And some are going to hit, some are going to bust, but there's going to be some really interesting creative things that come up.
Well, we have huge stuff coming up.
Yeah.
All across. We're the way we built this channel in the bear market, we're building an NFT, an NFT arm of our business. It's like nothing else. So we're taking it very seriously. And if you noticed what happened, all of that paid off for us building this channel in the bear market. We believe the same thing with NFTs. So World Economic Forum, Davos, here we go. What to know? I know you guys love the World Economic Forum. Hope you guys have seen our video, City of Towers and Gates. The world's top leaders from politics, business, civil society, and media will meet in Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum Annual Meeting 2022. We discussed this in the City of Towers and Gates. Davos 2022 is centered on the theme History at a Turning Point. government policies and business strategies. A variety of issues will be tackled, including the pandemic, global conflicts, economic uncertainty, and climate change. The Ukrainian president is there. The war in Ukraine and the resulting tragedy calls for more global action. Do you see? Like, I don't know if you guys understand this, but there are 5 major ways that billionaires and these billionaire families, how they make money and keep making money over time. Obviously, war is one, right? I don't remember all 5 of them off the top of my head, but I do know one of them because it really threw me off. Humanitarian work. Humanitarian work. Setting up these nonprofits, setting up like after the earthquake and where was that really bad? In Haiti, after the tsunami in Indonesia, they basically set up these nonprofits for people there to depend on them. And then they use that to their advantage to make money all across the world. That's what a lot of these, global elites do. So, of course they want to figure out how they can take advantage of the war in Ukraine and how they can more global action. Leaders will address urgent humanitarian security challenges as they simultaneously advance longstanding economic, environmental, and societal priorities, all while reinforcing the foundations of a stable global system. Of course, you guys know John Kerry is there, former failed presidential candidate. Let's see. Over the past 2 years, Forum has been working to strengthen various initiatives. Forum founder Klaus Schwab says this year's gathering in Davos will be the most timely and consequential in its over 50-year history.
Yeah, that's not ominous.
Yeah, that's not scary. That doesn't say great reset is upon us.
Yeah.
And I tell you something we're talking about. Me and TJ had a conversation about this morning. How can we fight these people? And right now, I don't have the answer to that question. And we are trying to work out some ideas. I got a very interesting idea from a friend who his company is doing something to combat a lot of the moves from BlackRock. So we're going to be probably talking about that in the coming weeks and trying to figure out how we can fight these people. Because, guys, these people, this Klaus Schwab guy, I'm not saying that, like, this is for sure. But I'm saying if there was ever a person out there who made a deal with the devil, that this guy would be him. This guy was an economics professor, I think still in his early 30s or late 20s when he came up with this idea for the World Economic Forum. He had no influence. He had no money. He had no power. Somehow an economics professor was able, I think in Switzerland, was able to get one-on-one meetings with almost every leader of first world countries and sit down with them and explain how he had this idea for them to create this forum that would infiltrate all the highest levels of government. This is not conspiracy. This is all fact. It's all fact. Very publicly accessible information. And somehow he was able to create one of the most powerful organizations in the world from nothing. And it's very, very, very fishy. And he's the one who, of course, is headlining this great reset that they want, to happen. And I don't know when this happens, what it actually looks like. If we can fight it, I don't know, but we're going to try.
I don't understand why all these people look like Bond villain criminals. Like something right out of, like she looks right out of a Disney movie villain right there.
Well, I think when you're as rich as these people are, you tend to just have that look, I think.
I guess. So
I mean,
you're saying we're going to look like that one day? Yeah.
Oh, God,
better not.
I almost cussed.
It's got to be more than just
That's scary.
money. Yeah, that is scary. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like Cruella DeVille's mom or something.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would tell you if you go back a year and fast forward to now, oh, totally different. I guess we keep this transition going. Well, use the word transition lightly. If this transition keeps going and we do get to own Falcons and become billionaires, like, I think I'll have to look like these people.
You'll be a
Does
lizard.
anyone
You might
have
be a
some
lizard
blue?
person one day?
Does anyone have some blue glasses? I would like some blue glasses, and instead of a scarf, can I get an ascot?
Yeah, and you'll have to shave
Like the
your
one-
head to match Brian Armstrong and Klaus Schwab.
Oh my gosh. I can't do it. This is Christine Lagarde, if you don't know who this is. She is in charge of the European Central Bank, former head of the IMF, International Monetary Fund. She has warned that cryptocurrencies are worthless and should be regulated. Here you go. This is how you know, even though it seems like we're getting a rally soon, I believe, from prices, you know, the FUD continues, and it makes you wonder if we are going to see, you know, maybe a large move to the downside very soon.
You can literally hear the double talk in their voice in that one sentence. Crypto is a scam, must be regulated. Like if it's a scam and going away, why do you need to regulate it? Like they if it's here to stay, they're going to regulate it.
If I don't do a show this week with a monocle and an ascot, then we did it wrong. I think.
Yeah, we need to make that happen.
Lagarde said on Dutch television.
Also, I'm still
you into that, huh?
I'm still thinking
That's
about
my non-monocle.
when you said monocle, it made me think of our Halloween costumes. It doesn't have a monocle.
We have great Halloween costumes this year. Yeah. Me and DJ have fully decided what we want to wear. So, all right, Lagarde said on Dutch television she's concerned about those who do not comprehend the risk, who will lose everything, and who would be severely disappointed by digital assets. I don't know if it's a tweet or something on TikTok, and it basically was about somebody that lost all their money with Terra.
A tweet on TikTok?
A tweet or a TikTok. Can't remember what it was. And basically, the guy was explaining, guys, this is why investments are only for accredited investors. What idiot? Like, what, one coin, people lose a lot of money. It is true. One coin out of, you know, we'll just take the top 100 that has had a move like this. Only the second one in history, along with BitConnect, to be a top 10 coin at one point and have a move to the downside like this. I mean, post 2016. I won't talk about altcoins before that. But that means like, oh, only the rich people should be able to play the game? No. Like, no, sir. Accredited investor is a scam the government made up to keep you poor. Like, do you not know that? Lagarde made the remarks in the midst of challenging times for Bitcoin markets when major coins such as Bitcoin and Ether have lost half their value from their 2017 peaks. And they act like this hasn't happened before. They act like this has not happened before. I saw another guy on TikTok this weekend explaining how, you know, it was so obvious that this was going to happen because crypto is worthless. I'm like, no. If you had been around, you heard all this 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you heard all of this same stuff from guess who? Christine Lagarde. Go see. I made stories in 2018 on my channel about Christine Lagarde telling you crypto is worthless when it was at $3,000, when Bitcoin was. Lagarde doesn't invest in crypto, but her son does. Oh, you got a Peter Schiff situation here. Lagarde pointed out that she has never invested in digital currency. However, she said her son had invested in crypto and failed miserably.
Oh, so
well, he didn't fail if he didn't sell. Did mommy make you sell? Did mommy make you sell? Did she say that you're a bad boy and you need to sell your cryptos because they're worthless?
She told him she won't give him his allowance if he keeps investing in crypto, just like they tell all the countries, like, hey, we're not going to give you this $1 million if you keep buying Bitcoin.
If you buy Bitcoin, you are out of the will.
That's right.
While condemning Bitcoin and other related currencies, she said she will support the establishment of the digital euro, a centralized crypto that's not transparent and permissionless, of course. The block central bank digital currency, as it will be supported by the European Central Bank, because that's what we need. We need the European Central Bank behind everything, because we are only dumb, lowly citizens.
Peasants.
We are peasants. We are what is the word? What is the word? It's a like Renaissance term. It's not serfdom. What is it? It basically means
like the working class.
Yeah, the working class. What is that called?
I thought it was peasants.
It was in the city of Towers and Gates. Oh God, I spilled my energy drink. That was a disaster. That was a disaster, folks. That's the first time maybe second time I've ever spilled on the show. Let's see. Renaissance synonym for peasant. Let's see. Peasant.
Commoner?
No, maybe it was serf. They said basically some people would come and they would be plebs. We were saying plebs. Feudalism is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Or feudalism is what that system was. Maybe it was serfs. Maybe that is what it was. And the people could basically hope to move up to a knight, because if you moved up to a knight, then you got to be a little bit more higher in society. That's what these people want.
I think
they want to label us. What they learned is, let me tell you what they learned. Okay. The elite. They learned that if they put labels on people, a caste system does not work across the world. If you know the level you're at and you can't get above that, then there will be a revolution. So the whole, Nick Diamandi said it was serf. So he wrote the script. So, thank you, Nick. So the idea is you can't get above a certain level. Well, they're smarter than that now. They know not to label you, because if they label you and they call you simply a serf, then people are, you want to get out of the box. People are wild. You'll figure out a way to get up. But as long as you think you have opportunity within the system they've set up, then you won't rebel against it. And people are learning that the internet is the printing press, and blockchain is kind of the production and distribution of the Bible back then. That's kind of the next level, right? You got the printing press. The Roman Catholic Church held everything. They would basically take advantage of people because they were the only people that could read. But once it got out and people learned to read, they saw the truth, and that was the fall of the definitely the most evil time of the Roman Catholic Church, where they were using the Bible against people. And so that's what we're seeing today. People, if you said that they would be toppled one day and they would not be the most powerful organization in the world, people would have told you were crazy. That's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the global elites that are this system, and they want to keep us as serfs, but now we are armed with the tools to see what is happening and fight against them. So, if anybody's got ideas on how you fight this, drop those below in the chat. We'd love to see some of that. Swift obviously now is, testing their CBDC interoperability to enable cross-border payments. So this is big. Obviously, if you are in the world of XRP, if you're an XRP Army member, well-known global financial messaging service Swift, a network of information, not a network of value, is set to test the CBDC by interlinking several CBDC networks in order to execute cross-border payments. Nick Kerrigan, head of innovations at Swift, pointed out that when CBDCs will be increasingly perceived as a new form of fiat currencies, too many such projects will come into the development, linking the traditional financial infrastructure. Guys, this is what you need to understand about this. This is something that Swift can use temporarily to remain in front of Ripple if this works for them. But people don't understand how much RippleNet is built out. They don't understand the full depth of that system and how useful it is for banks. And because of that, they'll say, oh, see, Swift is going to win now. No, that's not how this is going to work. Swift doesn't have a prayer against Ripple. It doesn't have a prayer. It is an information network versus a value network. There's literally no way a network of information can be more efficient than a network of value, because there's no middle steps. The transfer is the transfer. They are still working on an old system to where, yes, they can integrate different CBDC networks the same way that they could integrate different fiat currencies, but someone still has to go on the back end and do all the sending. That's of a cross-border transaction. Briefly, how this works: if I'm in Mexico, I want to send money to Germany. I go to my bank in Germany and I say, hey, I go to my bank in Mexico and say, I want to send this over to Germany. They convert it to US dollars. Then they send the money first via information. Later, they actually send the money through a wire. Like 7 days later, the German bank gets it, converts it from dollars into German mark or euro, the euro actually now, into the euro, and then gives that to whoever needs it. It's an archaic process when we have digital currency. A CBDC is going to be the same thing. They're still going to have to convert the CBDCs over to US dollars before they can send the transfers, because their systems are not set up to be able to convert all of these different currencies in an easy way in real time. So that's why, basically Swift has no prayer against Ripple. So here we go. Ken Griffin, man, what a great baseball player he was.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not right. That's King Griffin. Citadel Capital CEO says Terra Fiasco should be a wake-up call for regulators. Literally the people involved in it. Literally the people, I believe Citadel and BlackRock were behind this. I don't care how much they deny it. They were behind this. And now, same way Janet Yellen used it for stablecoin regulation, now he's saying, oh, it's a wake-up call for regulators.
Wow. These people,
man, they're the worst. They're the worst kind of people. I just can't possibly see. There's no amount of money to sell your soul over. Like, there's no amount of money to become this vicious to where you will destroy people's lives in order to get personal gain and to use things for your political advantage.
I don't know. I think it's about 8 million for Janet Yellen.
Yeah, exactly. We know there's a big number out there for a lot of people. So, can you imagine doing that for $8 million?
No. That's what, there is no
That's
number
laughable.
for us. There's no number for people that care about people. But that's the thing. Most of these people, there's always a number for somebody who cares most about themselves, which is what most of these people are.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people bringing up in the chat, Do Kwon might have been in on this. And that is a big popular thing that a lot of people have been talking about. How he did admit that they disformed the company. Is that the right word?
You're talking about the
dissolved. That they dissolved the entity Terra Labs a week beforehand. He's saying it's a coincidence.
A lot of coincidental timing for sure.
I would say that I believe it's a coincidence. And if it's not a coincidence, I think that probably this was done either without him knowing or from someone within his company that was part of the plan to tank it. I don't believe that Do Kwon is a bad person. I don't think Do Kwon is a scammer. I believe Do Kwon is egotistical, which I get. I don't think anything I'm going to do is going to fail. We've got a lot of failures here. So I understand that mindset. I think that he got played by probably people close to him, and then BlackRock, Citadel, and Gemini was just the third party. But I don't think he meant for any of this to happen. So you're seeing a lot of these conspiracies out there, things that he's actually said. He said they had a 24-hour pull the plug thing ready in case something ever went wrong. Well, golly, if he would have done that in the beginning, it probably would have helped. It wouldn't have tanked as bad. So I think it was kind of like when we said we were going to sell at 38K, which would have been an awesome idea. We had a hard time pulling the plug and doing it. And we took some profit, but not nearly enough. I think that's the situation he's in. So I think that Do Kwon, he's wanted in South Korea. There's people have been threatening and stalking his wife. Like, I don't think he wanted this to happen. He was already rich enough. But I don't think he was in on this at all. Yeah. I think a lot of it's circumstantial, and some of it may not be on accident. Some of it may have been set up to make it look like this.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think you're right. I think he did get played a little bit, and that's the way they generally do it. They're going to put somebody out there as a fall guy that truly doesn't know anything about it, but when you look at it, they're going to be the one that's in the crosshairs. It's never going to be the guys that are actually making the move.
Why would he do this? Yeah. What's the motivation for Do Kwon to do this? When somebody can answer that question, a man who had lots of failures in blockchain before, and now has had a success upon successes, and now he's never going to be able to do anything in crypto again. Yeah. I don't see the upside. He was already a billionaire.
That's what you look at the incentives. The people that had the greatest incentive are Citadel, BlackRock, the regulators, like the government, they're taking advantage of it 100%. So that's what leads me to believe.
Frenchie Million says 10,000 per coin XRP this year.
Well, that'd be nice.
I'm all for it.
10,000.
Sure. All for it. Why stop at 10,000? Let's just say 10 million.
Maybe they're going to print $1 quadrillion or something.
Yeah. I guess somebody was saying that, I didn't have a lot in Luna. We lost $80,000 in Luna. Graziano pointed that out, and we lost all of it. We never even looked at it after it started. So, Do Kwon shares Luna burning address, but warns lunatics against using it. Don't send your Terra to that address is basically the long and the short of it. South Korea may hold exchanges accountable for Terra crash. Eventually what regulators are going to go after Terra Luna. They were already going after Mirror Protocol, and they're probably going to, in some way squeeze exchanges for information probably, but I don't understand what the point would be to hold one person accountable who's already lost everything. You can just do a criminal investigation. I don't think there's a reason to really go down the rabbit trail of an SEC investigation at this point of this. OpenSea launches Seaport marketplace protocol, allowing NFT bartering. Non-fungible token marketplace OpenSea has announced the launch of a Web3 marketplace protocol for safely and efficiently buying and selling NFTs. It does not control or operate the portal, yada, yada, yada. These were the two newest of the billionaires list, were the OpenSea founders, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. They love that insider trading, too. Some on social media seem to express confusion over concepts in the new marketplace protocol. And I will tell you this. I think a lot of people probably know this that watch this channel. I hate OpenSea. I can't stand OpenSea. One of my greatest rants ever was on OpenSea. And by the way, insider trading, that's proven. Those are facts. This is not me accusing them of doing something that's not factual. Look up articles about it. Now, the two founders themselves, I don't know if they specifically were included in those allegations, but the company itself definitely members. Nate Chastain, a guy that was organizing NFTs on the site based on what he owned. And, you know, we've decided to fight OpenSea. And so a lot of you guys have probably guessed this, but this is kind of the official announcement of the announcement. We are creating our own NFT marketplace. We are creating an OpenSea competitor, and I will make it my sole goal in life, if it has to be, to defeat OpenSea. And we're going to. The things that we're coming up with for this platform, this is not rinky dink, okay? We're going to end up putting 7 figures into this to make this right. And this is going to be the greatest NFT marketplace known to man. There will not be a question. We've seen all the flaws of LooksRare. Great token, they launched it, and then you know what? It disappeared. Nobody's using it anymore because they didn't keep the people incentivized. We've seen what Vivi's done with social media integration, but yet they have a closed system. We've seen all of the OpenSea flaws, the centralization, the censorship. We've seen it all. We have something much better than all of it coming. So that serves as your official notice, OpenSea. We are coming directly for you, and we will defeat you. Let's go. All right. BBC News. How'd you like that, Joe? Your official announcement for the... I mean, people surely already basically knew that this was coming, right?
Yeah, people had
We've
a
teased it
sneaking
enough.
suspicion, and we talked to a lot of people at Veecon, a lot of NFT people that are very excited about this. I mean, if you're in the NFT community, we're not the only people that hate OpenSea. Pretty much everybody does, and everybody's looking for a better product and a better solution. And that's the goal of this, is to make the product standalone far and away better than any other NFT marketplace out there. And like you said, the features that this is going to have will definitely wow a lot of people. And
we're not underselling.
It's going to make the user experience of an NFT trader dramatically better.
And this is what you have to keep in mind. My number one goal with this is not making money. Like, we'll make money on it. I'm sure of that. But that's not the goal. The goal is to take an outdated, clunky, censorship-riddled, insider trading proven site that sits at the top of the NFT market area and remove it, because it's not good for the space. It turns people off, and we've got something much, much, much better. And you will find, guys, that we are not overselling this. All of these things that I've been teasing, you will find I'm actually underselling these things when they come out. So Gen Z is hooked on crypto and NFTs. Recent report by BBC has become, says Gen Z has been completely hooked on the allure of crypto and NFTs. Let's see. Concerned about the popularity of crypto trading among young investors. Basically, the long and short of it is, this is very obvious. We talked about this on the channel before, why this is. We have, what we've seen with Gen Z is, I don't want to say they're lazy, because lazy is not the right word. That's a word a lot of people, my generation and up, would use. But what we're seeing is Gen Z has figured out that the worst jobs pay the least, like a cashier at a fast food restaurant, a janitor. I mean, some janitors actually make a lot of money, but you know what I'm saying? Jobs a lot of people don't want to do, but yet a lot of those jobs pay the least. They've also figured out that their parents are struggling to make ends meet still after years and years and have no retirement. And they're also learning that there are other ways that you can monetize yourself without getting a 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. Crypto and NFTs fits right into that. Is that a pipe dream? Well, a lot of people would say becoming a YouTuber is a pipe dream, but it's worked for a lot of people. So,
and it's getting easier. Like, I would say Generation Z is also the most creative with alternative ways of making money on the internet. And we're seeing more and more of those opportunities come out every single day, especially with things like blockchain, play to earn, play to move.
Somebody said I need to stop skipping leg day. Guys, I don't skip leg day. I didn't get to go to leg day on Wednesday because I was sick. Yeah. And so, you know, the first thing I did when I got out of the bed on Friday afternoon?
What's that?
Leg day.
There you go.
I went and did leg day. First thing. I never skip chest day, never skip leg day, never skip shoulders and back day.
I skip leg day a lot.
TJ is almost exclusively skipping leg day.
No, not exclusively. I missed.
It is the day you exclusively.
I had a bad streak. I missed 3 or 4 in a row.
I think TJ could outsquat me for a while, but I think I might could get him now. You know what I did? I did freestanding, not on the machine. Trainer wants us using Smith machine because it's better for your joints. Yeah. But I would have said that was like for babies before I had this trainer. But I was repping 365 on the freestanding.
Yeah, he told me the other day at the gym that he thinks he could out squat me, and I don't think I'm going to be missing any more leg days.
My all time like squat max freestanding was, I think, like 335.
Mm-hmm.
And I was repping 365 the other day without a spotter.
There you go.
So, yeah. All right. SEC versus Ripple. Amici takes aim at Duty's reasonable XRP holders assertion. XRP Army, where are you at? Throw the X up if you're in the XRP Army. I know we were 10 minutes late, so we'll run over a few. Roaster guy says he saw me at the ball field Saturday. It was cool to see me there, but I respected your family time. Cell service is terrible there, isn't it? Weatherby Park in Canton. It is awful. Hey, by all means, come talk. That's fine. I know I'm with my family. I'm coaching ball out there. Yeah, that was my son's team I coach. But please come say hello. I love talking to people in public. So if you ever see me, my family understands this is what got us to where we're at, and they're very appreciative for the viewers, just like I am. So now, if you see me yelling at my kid for something he did in the game, maybe not the best time, but you know, I try to. There's a lot of memes about coaches, how they coach their own kid versus everybody else. You know, first baseman misses the ball, you're like, you know, you'll get it next time. You know, just put your glove down. You know, you're doing great. You know, third baseman, you know, makes an error. You're like, hey, you know what? That was good form. You know, you got it. Your own kid misses the ball. What are you doing? Get your glove down. My son made his first error of the entire season at third base.
Well, my favorite part, though, if you go to the BitBoy Bombers game, sometimes Madden will be there for the game, is the reverse.
Yeah.
when he's yelling at you after something
you did. It's very funny.
You got to know the outs, Dad. Come on. You got to know how many outs there are.
Yeah. Dad, you almost got thrown out of the game. What's wrong with you? Like, son. Okay. Bearing this in mind, John Deaton, counsel for Amici Cure, filed a letter asking U.S. Judge Annalisa Torres to consider the views of XRP holders. Look, this Eleanor Terra, I think she works for Fox News. Is that correct? At Fox Business. She is an awesome follow on Twitter, and she is fighting for XRP and against SEC. She's seen through the fraud here. She's a great follow. We should get her on the channel.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. So basically, breaking attorney John Deaton filed a motion letter asking the judge to consider the 67,300 XRP holders. An expert SEC witness who gave a report on what information reasonable XRP holders were relying on when they bought the token. Deaton says he bets this witness gave testimony without interviewing a single XRP holder. I've been watching the show The Staircase on HBO Max.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's about what's the guy's name? Michael Peterson. It was a murder in the early. Well, it was or was not a murder. We're not at the end of the show yet. I know what happens, but the long and the short of it is it shows a lot of the legal stuff behind the scenes, and you'd be shocked at all this. Like basically, you know, the DA goes to the medical examiner and is like, "Now, are you sure this is a strangulation?" Now, this behind the scenes, and she's like, "No, I'm not actually sure." He's like, "He did it. He's going away. I need you to be sure." She's like, "Okay, I'm sure." Like the stuff that goes on behind the scenes in these legal cases. Now, is that actually what happened or not? I'm not sure. But you bet your bottom dollar this happens. This is the problem with our legal system. You want to know our problem with the legal system in the United States? The problem is, and you see it with this case, is that common sense is thrown out, empathy is thrown out, and people's cases are treated as a job, as a task that you must complete. The district attorney is not looking for evidence that says that person didn't do it if it's a murder. They're only looking for evidence that said they do it, and they're only concerned about the tally in their cases counting as a win. They're not concerned about that person's life on the other side of whether or not they actually did it. It's a big game to them. It's basically a video game where their job is to put people in jail. They don't care if they did it or not. They just want to build a case so they can win. That's what's happened in this XRP case behind the scenes. And I think we've gotten a good view of this, from behind the scenes. So we're trying to get in touch with Ripple. We want to work with Ripple on some stuff we're doing. So we're going to be trying that this week. I've never actually talked to anyone at Ripple in my entire life. Okay. Let's see. World Economic Forum, Ripple CEO reveals he visited SEC several times before the lawsuit struck. I feel like I kind of already knew that. XRP Ledger to see carbon credits with Ripple's new $100 million investment fund. Guys, XRP Ledger is XRPL. If you've seen that before, this is the open, permissionless ledger, basically the blockchain of Ripple. And this is, if you hear people saying XRP ledger is centralized, no, it's not. It's as decentralized as anything else is. You want to talk about the ownership of the nodes and the coins of XRP itself and the way the company Ripple works in tandem with that, we can have that conversation. But you look like an idiot if you say the XRPL is centralized, because that's not reality. So XRPL is going to be big. We do plan on integrating XRP into our NFT platform when it launches. So there's a little alpha for you guys, the XRP army. Quick hits. U.S. Congress introduced record number of crypto-related bills. Hey, by the way, TJ, I got a text from Ryan and Esteban over the weekend. They want to have a call with us this week about they got big plans for us.
Nice.
So something, I think they put an idea together that, probably something to do with sponsoring a bill, I would assume. Huh. Or maybe not, but something in the arena of politics. Tether has dropped by $10 billion since UST collapse. So I guess that means people are just pulling out. Beeple Twitter exploits these hackers drain over 200 ETH. Crypto boss Bankman-Fried donates $31.5 million super PACs. Number 2 overall donor to Joe Biden, Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, look, if you look at this picture here, you can see what this man would look like with a regular haircut. I can visualize it. I think it looks nice. I was in the shower this morning thinking about Sam Bankman-Fried.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was in the shower this morning thinking about Sam Bankman-Fried and about our haircut conversation. I guess because I was washing my hair probably. Makes sense. Totally legit. Mm-hmm. And I had this idea, like, I've been saying he has a bad haircut. If Sam Bankman-Fried worked at GameStop, he could pull this off and I wouldn't say anything about it. Gotcha. As the founder of one of the biggest companies in crypto, leader of the space, that's where I have the problem with it. If you're sitting at home playing video games, eating Twinkies and Mountain Dew, or nachos and Doritos and Mountain Dew, I think is the gamer drink and food of choice, or was when I was a kid. I think you can get away with this haircut. If you wear overalls with one side of the overalls undone, I think you can get away with this haircut. Just where he is. I think that's
just so it's just
the common people, the common person out there that has that haircut. I'm not saying you have a bad haircut, because you probably eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew.
Just a bad haircut for billionaire founders. Bad cut for billionaire.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking about him in the shower this morning, but I was.
We do.
Oh, you do.
Right, let's get to some Q&A.
Sorry, hon. He's very rich.
Yeah. From Jonathan Caldwell, Q&A. Is it possible that the last 6 months was the bleed, since July to November was some crazy dead cat bounce?
The percentage I put on that is about 20%. I believe false top theory. There's a video we put out last week. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It laid a lot of that out. I think it is a possibility. It is not out of the realm of speculation to say that could have been the bottom. So people need to understand, traditionally, based on numbers, based on saying the top of the price is the top of the market, then no. But, Louis Raskin believes crypto. He believes that was the top, the first cycle, or in April, the first part of the cycle was the top. There are a lot of smart people that believe that.
Wasn't
Richard Hart believes it.
Data Dash was talking about that, I believe. I didn't watch the video, but I know Nick sent it to us about him talking about the false top theory.
Yeah. So,
next question. If we've seen 28K multiple times, a lot of people saying that's the bottom, what makes some think we could hit 20K or go below 28?
Well, we had 28 last year. We just got 28 again. We went a little below that. Mm-hmm. It's called retesting. So you got to go down and retest numbers. But so far, with Bitcoin at $30,000, it's still in the range of a retest. Like, the $28,000 level getting retested over and over again would mean it's likely to go below it again. The evidence to the contrary would be, well, when we did go below 28, we went straight to 25.5 and basically right back up to 28. So that was a strong retest. We did make a new low, but that was the bounce you're looking for. You're looking for it to come down to a number and then immediately bounce back up, because so many people had buy orders at that level, it would spike the volume. And then it would be hard to get back down there again, because now all those buy orders are gone. So,
objectively, super chat from Brandon Cook. Do you think Rarible will be a top NFT marketplace in the next bull run?
Okay, so as you guys know, that they are now a competitor of ours.
That's why I said objectively.
Right. So I'm going to be objective about this. We had a lot of personal issues with Rarible. The community didn't want us there which is very disappointing. When we launched there and did some stuff, our community went there and bought. The Rarible community was very douchey to us. And they actually were celebrating when scammers would come on there and pretend to be us and monetize copies of our NFTs. And, I spoke to the team about it. The team, on some regards, were respectful, on some weren't. They didn't seem to want to fix any of the problems we had. And I think the problem with Rarible is the team, and I know this because I talked to them, they made too much money too quickly in the very beginning, and that gave them low motivation to fight to keep things going. It was many, many, many months, I would say 6 months after Rarible launched, that they actually started trying to make better changes to it. I think Rarible today is better than it was. So I would say, yes, I do believe Rarible. I do believe Rarible is much better than OpenSea. I would tell you that. I would actually consider right now Rarible to probably be, in terms of user interface, the #1 NFT platform out there. OpenSea, obviously, the #1 in money and volume. But I think Rarible is a better platform, but we're going to crush them both.
A couple more real quick. Do you think USDC is still safe after BlackRock's $400 million round of investing?
Yes, absolutely. Because, USDC is going to become the digital dollar. We've been telling you that on this channel for 2 years. So, Coinbase and BlackRock, Digital Currency Group, Citadel, Vanguard, they're all kind of the same company. It's a mismatch. What's the word I'm looking for there?
Mashup?
No, I don't know what it is. It's a mashup, basically, of all those companies kind of working together. And so, Digital Currency Group behind Coinbase, there's no chance they're going to tank that.
Yeah,
and especially because Coinbase is public as well. So there's a lot of incentive for them to help the price of Coinbase go up. I think this is an infusion of cash, probably, really kind of to Coinbase.
Yeah, and I was going to say, really the $400 million investment in USDC makes me feel that much stronger that it's not going anywhere, because these big companies, it's the chosen one, so to speak.
I have not seen this EYL Who Controls Crypto video. I will watch it. Okay. Last question?
And then last question, will Elron make it through the bear market?
Yes, definitely. We love Elron. We're huge on Elron. We think it is going to do very well. We definitely have big plans for Elron NFTs in the future.
It could be in my opinion, could be a dark horse for the next cycle.
Mishmash.
A
Mishmash?
Hodgepodge. I heard that. I thought that word too, but
Vivi is solid. Jay, I agree. I think Vivi is actually the best platform. The problem is it's closed. So you can't move your NFTs off of Vivi anywhere. So that's the big problem with Vivi. It's not set up right. It's set up for big corporations that want that. Like Disney and some others. It's not set up great to be kind of just regular part of the NFT community. So, all right, guys, that is all we got for today. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I got. Be blessed. Don't think about seeing Bankman Free in the shower. No. Good boy.